Welcome to the Cyber Center for Biblical Studies. Hi, my name is Herb Bateman. Today we want to discuss a book entitled The Gospel According to Isaiah 53, Encountering the Suffering Servant in Jewish and Christian Theology, edited by Darrell Bock and Mitch Glaser. Welcome, Darrell.
It's a pleasure.
As we think about this book and share this with our audience out there, what would you say is the thesis, the overriding theme that runs through this book?
Well, the book is a study of the various readings of Isaiah 53 from both a Jewish and Christian point of view, working through the discussion and debate that surrounds this passage, which of course has been a major messianic text for the Christian church for centuries, in the face of Jewish readings that view the chapter very differently. So we compare and contrast the two readings, including presenting a detailed discussion of the exegesis of Isaiah 53 itself, along with a look at the various ways in which that passage is appealed to in the New Testament.
Okay, so as you're looking at the various ways in Isaiah 53 has been understood, how does the book unfold? What type of chapters can we expect in this book?
It's a collection of essays. Some of them are dealing with the exegesis in the context of Isaiah 53 itself. Some of it are dealing with Jewish readings of Isaiah 53 by the rabbis and the Talmud in other major Jewish sources. Others are studies of how these texts are used and appealed to in various portions of the New Testament, whether it be in the Gospels or in Acts or in the Pauline epistles. So it is a survey of a kind of a history of interpretation of the use of that chapter and the hermeneutics that stands behind it.
Oh, okay, all right. What spurred you on? What spurred you and Mike or Mitch to edit such a work?
Well, we just felt like a good detailed discussion of Isaiah 53 and the things that are said about it, both within Judaism, in Messianic Judaism, and in the church at large, was a treatment that was needed, that most people didn't understand the importance of this text, how it said what it said, and that kind of thing. So we wanted to give people a single resource to look at all the aspects of how this passage is handled, the way it's viewed, and the debate in some cases that centers in it.
Okay, all right, so here I am, I'm a pastor, and I'm thinking about doing a series on Isaiah, or maybe even preaching a series just on Isaiah 53. How might this book help me?
Well, it's going to help you deal with all the linguistic and technical aspects of the passage, some of the imagery that's actually quite complex that is associated with the picture of the suffering servant. It's going to help you wrestle with the question of how does Isaiah 53 connect to the other servant songs in Isaiah. It's going to help you think through the movement in the servant songs between identification with Israel at large, the nation as a whole, versus a more individualized reading as you get later on in the servant songs. It's going to explain all those transitions, and it's going to be suggestive to some degree of some preaching and things like that you can do with it. There are a couple of chapters in the book that deal with how to preach and how to present this material from a preaching point of view, as well as the technical, exegetical, and historical chapters that deal with the content and the meaning and the way in which the text is used.
Fantastic. All right. Well, are there any other books that might be a complement to what you've done here in this book on the Gospel according to Isaiah 53?
Well, I think the larger book that deals with this, obviously, is another book that Kriegel is responsible for, Jesus the Messiah, that gets into the messianic portrait of Jesus coming out of the Hebrew Scripture as a whole. Obviously, this is one important text in that mix. And so, whereas the Jesus the Messiah book covers all those texts, this one focuses in on just this one passage. But to have a larger context into which Isaiah 53 fits, that other work is going to be quite helpful to you.
Okay. All right. Well, Darrell, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
All right. And thank you. And I trust you'll look at Kriegel publication and search this book out and add it to your library. In the meantime, we'll see you later.